everybody, my name is Jeremy and I'm here with Mike Manion and we're discussing Bethany Trust today. So the purpose of this video, I guess, is twofold. We want to talk a little bit about who Bethany Trust is, what they do as part of one of the ministries of the church, but also just to update you on some happenings to do with Bethany Trust and some opportunities that exist kind of going forward. Who actually is Bethany Trust?
Bethany Trust is one of the ministries within RSCC, but its specific role in the church community is to provide inspiring spaces that bring people closer to God. That means that we're responsible for the maintenance of the existing facility, and you can see examples with the upgrade which we've done in the concourse area, other work which is happening in the youth lounge, and other things yet to come. So we're number one is to try and maintain this facility, but the other one is to try and grow the facility, grow the campus, and grow other assets, to suit the overall ministry objectives of the assembly.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about some of the background to where we get today?
Well, if we look at the campus which we've got now and all the buildings and everything that is on it, we think, okay, this started out with the rally hall back in the 1950s, and people had vision back in those days. The church was over the other side of the river. They stood up the hall there and got that going in the 1950s. Things grew, and from there in the 1970s, they were able to go and build what we now call the old chapel, which was state of the art at the time. Then in the 90s. There was an opportunity to go and purchase the land behind the church, which was enough to go and do what we call the auditorium now, but also for the car park there as well. So Bethany Trust was actually created in 1992, initially to enable the purchase of that land and then to grow. And then early 2000s, the auditorium, the sitting, and that was built, and we just keep on growing. We've added on other bits and pieces to that. We've also, while we're here, we've been able to, with this the main church campus there, we've been able to go and acquire through either donations or sometimes through just straight acquisition other sections and other houses which adjoin this. So we're gradually just growing this campus bigger and enabling that to go and serve. In some places we've just got the house that's it's basically the land bank, and we're just we're receiving a rent on that. In others we've got other ministries that are now occupying those spaces. If we look at Shakespeare Street, 119, we've just got a great tenant there with CCCNZ, which is running that, and that's what connects all like-minded churches together. They've just established in the last month up there in 119. And over in Raleigh Street, we have Manaharpuri, which is another fantastic ministry aligned with our values, separate to it, but aligned, staffed with a lot of people from the assembly. And these people are, and again, it's another ministry associated with what we do. So these are in properties which we own, but which are then contributing to to God's work in this region.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think one of the things when I hear the stories about how this land and facilities came to be, you can clearly hear the work of God and behind it, enabling it to happen. But it took the people at the time to be able to see the vision of what would happen, of what this facility would be. And also don't underestimate the risk that they were taking back in that day. We hear the monetary kind of figures of some of those things and wish they were around today, but the reality is they had to stretch themselves and push things to be able to enable what we have today. And so I think it's really important when we think about moving forward, what are we thinking about that might challenge and stretch us a little bit, but we're seeing a little bit bigger picture of what God is up to. How do the elders and BT work together?
In that we're guided on those things from what do the elders want to go and see and what does the church need. On the other hand, where we act independently is where we go and do investments, or where we'll go and raise money in ways such as with some housing developments and the like, to go and raise money, which then enables the delivery of those ministry objectives.
Yep. So I guess one of the things that is great about having this facility is it enables ministries to occur, and we've seen recently with things like the playgroups and the Nourish Cafe. Food Rescue came about because they came in here and they saw this facility and it was able to be used for the purpose of it. So we sometimes think of buildings as monuments kind of thing, but in reality we see them as places where ministry is able to take place, and I think that's very exciting with it. So, Mike, how can people help in this space? What are some of the areas there where there's opportunity?
Well, we always, we just want to acknowledge all the people that go and help. There have been people help in a whole lot of ways. They've actually stood up a sort of a senior boys rally group, or called maybe Dad's Army, but a group of sort of senior, skillful and time generous gentlemen that are actually sort of helping out, doing work here on Monday. So that's fantastic. Other people go and turn up to working bees to go and help, go and keep this place intact. Some people, we've got some great tradesmen in the community that are really very generous with their time on doing some very specific tasks. So all that physical help is just so appreciated in keeping this place up to where it needs to be.
Yep.
But there's, some of these things also, there is a financial aspect as well. So when some properties have come to, when we get an adjoining property that comes to market, and this has happened in Raleigh Street, some properties come to market and say that just fits so well with what we're doing, both what we know we're doing, but also what we might be doing in the future. Because again, this is an intergenerational asset. If we look at sort of in the 1950s to now, people had vision back then. We are reaping the benefits of that. There's stuff which is happening now which we do not know when it'll be, but when it comes to real estate and land, we're not making any more of it in the middle of town. So therefore, when something comes available, we need to go and basically get it now, so it's there and can be attached to this. So the way we funded that, and specifically the Manaharpuri House, or Bethany House used by Manaharpuri, is it came up, we bought it, but the way we funded that was through loans. So basically interest-free loans from members of the congregation, and people said, okay, look, I've got money, which is just sitting somewhere. It's not doing very much. Wouldn't it be great if I use that for God's purpose rather than just sort of sitting in a bank? And so we had some people going and put that money in, and for a period of time. Now some of these are sort of, it's people, life changes. People need to go and sort of move on and say, look, you've had it for a reasonable period of time. I need to go and get that back now for other things. And so we fully respect that. So we're in that transition phase at the moment. So we're actually just looking at sort of with some people being able to go and say, look, they've lent us that money for a while, they've foregone whatever interest rates or something else has happened in their life. So we're now in just in the step of saying, okay, where are the opportunities to go and change that, to go and share that burden that these people have carried, and say, getting other people to go and step into that. So at the moment we are looking at to try and replace some of those previous loans which have been there for I think 2 or 3 years now with some others. So I think we are just going through that process at the moment. So it's a loan, you lend it there, you get it back, but it's in the meantime it has been used for just supporting God's work in Cambridge.
So if you're in a position there, you felt moved in the sense to be able to help out in that way, see someone from Bethany Trust. It is Mike. Clark is the chair currently. Sharon is the secretary. So you could go and say to any one of them, or flick me an email, and I'll pass the details on as necessary in that space. As elders, we felt a few years ago, the question is do we feel a call to this particular site? And we felt strongly that this is amazing that we are in the centre of the Leamington and wider kind of Cambridge community. You'd never be able to get that opportunity back to have this type of land and things available. So we feel very called to be in this place, and we want you to come be excited by that call and that vision of the ministries that are happening with the church and this facility that enables them to take place. So thank you, Mike, for your time and for your information and all your good work.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Cheers.
Thank you.